Thank you for joining me today for this very special Hangout on Air from Suntico for cloud and mobile enterprise app developers who would like to integrate or do integrate their apps with popular small business accounting software. Today, you will learn how you can address an additional 500,000 businesses with your cloud or mobile app. My name is Hugh Johnson. I'm Head of Business Development at Suntico. And if you'd like to get in touch with me after this Hangout on Air, please do so via any of the social channels or by email at hugh.johnson@suntico.com. Of course, if you have any questions at all. And today we're talking about an API, a web services API that can connect with Sage 50. In fact, that can connect with all flavors of Sage 50, whether you're talking about UK, Ireland, Canada, or the US. So on the agenda today, in this 15-minute hangout, is for whom is this? What is it? Why would you bother? What can the API do? I'll touch on the commercial bits that would be of interest to any of you. And I suppose more importantly, when will it be available for you to start working with? So if we get on to the first question, which is for whom is this? Well, the Suntico Sage 50 Web Services API is targeted at software as a service or mobile app developers that are themselves targeting small to medium-sized businesses that perhaps employ 10 to 100 employees, perhaps in the manufacturing, distribution, or business-to-business service industries, and maybe providing either general business productivity tools or specific applications to meet those vertical lines of business. You are probably today already connecting your SaaS or mobile app to popular online accounting software such as Xero, QuickBooks Online, or FreshBooks. But before I get onto any further detail, what I think I need to do is give you a brief explanation as to what Suntico is, and that'll help give you context. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to flip out into a very quick demonstration of Suntico. So I've gone to the Suntico website and I'm going to log in to a demo account that I've got set up there. And as you see straight away, Suntico is a cloud-based application. It's hosted on Microsoft Azure, and it's connecting in this example, to Sage 50 US edition into a demo data set there called Bellwether Garden Supply. It's multi-company. In fact, I've got 2 Bellwether Garden Supplies set up here, but don't worry about that. And in the background, what I've got is I've got a piece of connector software that is installed on the same server as my Sage 50, and that is synchronizing that Sage 50 data up into the cloud that can then be used by my app that I've got here. And the reason why I'm showing you this app is because this app is utilizing the very data that you as a developer will be able to use for your app. So I'm just going to do a very quick tour, not of the full functionality of the app, but just to give you a sense of the kind of data that we've got in here. So we've got a full list of all the accounts, which would be all the vendor accounts, all the customer accounts, but also any prospect accounts, which would be in the form of extended data that's been added to the database through Suntico. You've got all the transactions, sales invoices, sales orders, quotations, purchase invoices, purchase orders, the details of all of those, the products, the line items, and so on. So there's a pretty comprehensive set of data coming up from Sage 50 and being published and then being used, published into our cloud database and then being used by the Suntico application. I'm just going to switch back to the presentation. So that's very briefly what Suntico is. Another way of looking at it is I sometimes describe it as a post-ERP solution, because I think the days of trying to implement a fully integrated enterprise resource planning system into small to medium-sized businesses in the target market we're talking about, I think those days are gone, because you guys developing SaaS applications and mobile applications are really delivering best-of-breed functionality to address particular business problems and business needs that go way beyond the capabilities of a typical ERP system. So our concept is what I would call SMB Financials Plus, where we plug into the existing accounting software of the small business, we publish that into a cloud database, and then we allow ourselves as Suntico and also third-party best-of-breed SaaS and mobile developers such as yourselves to connect in and to avail of that data. Now, let me step on to the way it works in a little bit more detail. So what we have is we have the small business accounting software, which is on premises, typically Sage 50 or Intuit QuickBooks Desktop. And on premises, we install the Suntico Connector client. And this is the hard work that we've done for you. So basically, so you don't have to. And that Connector client polls the Sage system or the Intuit system or whatever system it's connected into and searches for up to third-party app. Just for your information, the Connector client software is controlled remotely via the cloud through our Connector service platform here. Now, so we've got the Sage 50 or Intuit data being published up into the accounting data database. And as I hinted at when we took a very quick look at the Suntico application, we're extending that data and extending that data model to provide a much broader productivity platform for small to medium-sized businesses. So, for example, prospects or competitors or notes or attachments or whatever may reside in an extended database, or indeed any additional data from additional third-party integrations that we have proactively done, such as an integration to MailChimp, which we've already put into the system. So, sitting on top of all of the accounting data and the various extended databases is our web API that we will be exposing for developers such as yourselves. That'll be exposed through a normal web service, and the data will be delivered through a JSON format for you to consume. Now, so far I've just spoken about the data being published out and available to you, but actually this API is going to go two ways. So you can also create and update the accounting data through the web API, and our connector infrastructure will look after pushing that data back through the connector client into the Sage 50 or the Intuit QuickBooks or any other accounting data. So that's very simply how it works at a really high level. Okay. Now, the next question you might ask is, if you're a cloud or mobile app developer, why would you bother? Why would you bother trying to connect into old or older desktop products that are out there? Well, the answer is very simple, because if you actually think about our target market, which is not the micro businesses that would typically be using maybe Sage 1 or 0 or QuickBooks Online or FreshBooks or any of the cloud accounting products, our target market are companies employing maybe 10 to 100 employees. Now, for these guys, probably more than 95%, certainly more than 90%, but I would say probably more than 95% of the transactional accounting data is on premises, stored in products like Sage 50 US edition, Sage 50 Canadian edition, UK or Irish edition, QuickBooks Desktop, Sage 100 ERP or Sage 300 ERP. So if you're wanting to build a cloud or mobile app that connects into accounting data that's used by companies employing 10 to 100 people, 95% of that data is out of your reach unless you find a way of connecting into the on-premises data. And that's exactly what we, Suntico, are providing to you. Another way of looking at it, as I say, is that the most valuable data in our target market is disconnected from the people and the apps that need it. And again, if you think about this target market, the most valuable activities that happen in these types of business either start or end in the accounting software. So there's huge value in being able to connect in and connect into that accounting software, but in nearly all cases, it's on premises, and it will be for some time to come. So that's it all at a high level. But what will the Suntico Sage 50 API do? Well, that's actually very simple. To start off with, it's going to be read-only, okay, in the very first iteration. And basically, through that, you will be able to read any of the entities that exist within the Sage 50 software. And to start off with, that will include about 40 entities. And if you want an example of the kind of data and the entities available, just go to our website, suntico.com, and try out the demo there. Register for access to the demo and give it a try, and have yourself a tour through the application and take a look. And that's the kind of data that we will be publishing through the API. But yes, as I mentioned, we will be implementing a write capability so that you can write this data back. And we'll be implementing this very soon, actually. So we'll be implementing this starting with sales invoices, because that's basically what our customers are asking for. So that'll enable you to create apps that create invoices and push those into any of those popular accounting software platforms. Now, one of the things that I said I would mention would be the commercial bits. Well, the good news is, for you as a developer, we do not intend to charge you for access to the APIs. You'll go through a qualifying process or a vetting process, in that there's certain types of developers that we're looking for to be part of our community. But it's really developers that are targeting those apps for companies in manufacturing, distribution, or service industries, particularly B2B industries, in the kind of 10 to 100 employee space. So if you qualify for that, we'll let you in. So in terms of timescales, and when will it be available? It will be available this summer. We're targeting engaging with our first handful of developers around about early July timeframe. So if you register your interest now, you can be one of the early developers to get your hands onto the API and try it. So what to do next if this appeals for you? Well, what I would suggest is you go to our website, go to suntico.com, and try out the demo account that's there, which is already populated with data, and you'll get a sense of the kind of data that will be available there. I admit, actually, in the live API, when it goes, we'll actually have some more information that other than the data that's actually there. For example, receipts and payments will also be in there, and inventory. And if you think this fits your business model, register your interest with us. Just go to www.suntico.com/Sage50API and register your interest, and we'll keep you posted with any updates and any changes. If you've got any questions,